I'm trying to sit here and think about. So it's funny, man, because me and Spike Lee, we don't really have like a rhyme or reason or science to people coming on the show. It just kind of happens organically. So there might be a topic that we want to discuss, and we know somebody that's an expert on that topic that can add some insight, or you might have somebody like Dave, or even when Portia was on First Fridays, where it just seems like they add something to the conversation and it'd be a theme. But I don't know how many times we had someone who's just like a listener, a supporter, and a bookworm, and us being the ones, because we always open the invite, like anybody, just for those out there listening. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a vetting system, but for the most part, like most of the bookworms, if y'all ever want to come and chop it up, that's what this platform's for. I can't remember, and Spike Lee, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I can't really remember a time where we like just got connected with a bookworm just from the stuff that they do. It's like, yo, you'd be dope to have on here. Does that ring a bell for you at all?
Najee is, yes, I agree with you.
That we didn't know, like, because I know, like Phil, Phil's my brother, like, so
okay.
I'm talking about somebody we don't know, haven't met, and was just like, we want you to come on, like, I'm gonna reach out to you and we let have a conversation.
Okay, don't know, haven't met is different. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I mean in that sense.
Yes. Absolutely.
So yeah, man, it's an honor, man. We're excited to have you here, man. For those who don't know, we got the good brother Najee Bookworm with us. How you feeling, brother?
I feel good, man. I appreciate being here because just a little about myself. Like when it comes to podcasts, I listen podcast, music, media, entertainment, all like everything together. I listen to the same thing every day, and it does not change. So another weekend of books is the show that I have to listen to on my way to work in the mornings. Like that's every. So I have to be into work about like 9:30, 10ish, 10 o'clock. So as soon as I get in my car, I do a little prayer that I pray every day. I've been saying this prayer for like 4 years now. And then I listen to y'all. And when y'all drop a new episode every Friday, I purposely wait until Monday to listen to it because y'all are locked into my morning drives. And that goes for other podcasts to listen to. So like Spike, I'm a big JBP fan. Been listening to it since I first listened to it in high school, but I stopped for some reason. I don't think I was into podcasts then. And then when I graduated from college, I started listening to the JBP on the train to my internship every morning. So I've been stuck on that for years, and I listen to them faithfully when they drop on the Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And that's for work. And like if I'm on the weekends for the Saturday drop, I'm here working. And then on my way from home from work, it's the mic still on and frames per second. So that's faithfully. So you guys are like my morning ritual. Like I have to listen to it because it just does something to my day. Like the knowledge y'all speak on, or just like the conversations y'all speak on, like it's fuel. I need it. Like I don't know what I would like if honestly I listen to a lot of music, but I get bummed when I don't have y'all to listen to. So I'm like, all right, let me throw on this Pusha T Clips album again. Let me throw on Iceman again. Like it's like, all right, cool, it's music, but I'd rather listen to y'all in the mornings.
That's
one of the highest compliments you can get.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I know how that is because I'm a big podcast listener. And it's like when I don't have the ones that I want to listen to during my commute, I'm like, damn, what I'm going to do now? I got to pull up an old Audible book or listen to something, that's comforting to listen to. But I totally understand what you mean. And I appreciate it. That's one of the highest compliments you can get as a podcast.
100%, man.
And no, thank y'all. And I found y'all through the dead end because like I've been listening to him since high school. And when Spike first appeared, I'm like, all right, who's this? But then the more you listen to him, it's like, that he's him. Like, all right, Spike is funny as hell. So I'm like, all right.
Thank you, man.
And then Spike had me weak today, man. I can't remember something on deck you said. I was in there crying.
Yeah, and then when he brought up I think one of the episodes, he was like listing all the shows he's on. So I'm like, all right, let me get one of these. For some reason, I decided to like search up Another Week in the Books on Spotify. And it took me a minute to catch on first because for some reason I didn't click an episode. But that's just me. That has nothing to do with y'all. That's just me and the way my brain is wired.
Yeah.
And when I clicked it and listened, it stuck right then and there. Like 5 minutes in, I was hooked. Like, this is
You
it.
remember what episode it was? And the reason I asked, because we were having a conversation of Mike Mo. I don't know if you listened to the first book with Mo of Another Week in the Books, but the first book, I mean, it's fine if you didn't. Like, if you didn't listen to the first book, it's fine. But my point to it is, the reason I asked you that, Mo, Rich, and myself were having a conversation, and we were talking
thinking about this since you said it too.
Me too. We were thinking about what episodes that Rich and myself have done that are classic episodes. Because I guess being hard on ourselves, having the same personality, we don't think like solo that we've had a classic episode. We've had a classic episode with guests on there. We've had a classic episode in the first book with Mo and myself. Again, if you want to go back and listen to those. But when Rich and I, just because how hard I feel like that both of us are on ourselves and us not going back to listen to the shows, we probably forgetting it, but we can't think of like an episode that we both walked away from where it was just me and him, and we was like, oh no, that was it. Just like, because in an example I give you, the latest episode with Kelvin, like we both walked away from that immediately. We was like, nah, that was one of them. That was a classic.
The one with school. The one with school. Chapter 2. We knew that was like
with the one with school. We was like, yep, that's one. So me and him have never walked away when we did it. Just him and myself walked away and be like, nah, that was it.
Crazy.
So I do remember the first episode I listened to, and that was the one with Ken.
Okay.
And the reason why I listened to it is because I don't know Ken, but I know, but from what I know of him when he talks and like the way he talks about himself or what he talks about himself on the show and stuff, like I wanted to hear like the way or how Ken like how he works, like what's his story, what's his background, and hearing that episode and hearing what y'all talk about on is the mic still on, and that end is like you put two and two together, like, all right, so this is how Ken is. Like, just I'm listening to one of the new episodes that just dropped today, or not today, like a few days ago, about how like he does like the challenges to himself, like I'm gonna do this every day, and it's like learning how Ken's brain think and how like he became who he is. I would say for me personally, that's a classic. But that's just me knowing, just listening to Dead End for many years and all the other podcasts and hearing how he talks about his life and the way he thinks. It was really cool, like hearing his background, his backstory. Like, so that's why you do this. Oh, your father was in the military. That's why you do this. That's why you maybe think about this one thing this way. It's like I love listening to that. So that was definitely like a classic to me personally.
I like that. Still ain't Dolo though. We need a me and Spike Lou episode where we get it going. But nah, that was I gotta go back and listen to it. That's part.
We ain't gonna put the pressure on you where you got to come up.
Yeah, nah.
No, hold on. There is one that I don't know if I messaged, but the episode about nothing.
Recently. Oh, that was just recently.
Okay, recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
About being a spectrum scale.
I meant to message the Instagram, but that episode for me, that was a great episode, even though y'all literally had nothing, but there was so much in that episode, comedy, the way y'all banter going back and forth, but there's also like really introspective things to think about, to talk about, all into one. That's a classic.
I appreciate that, man. It's it's funny. I want to know real quick, and we'll get rolling into the episode. And I got some comments to read from Kelvin's episode, and we'll talk about Dave's appearance and everything else. But I am curious because I'm the same way. Before I became an actual host, Another Week in the Books did the same thing for me. Like, just kind of from the very first listen, it just kind of hooked me in. And not in that, oh, that's cool way. It's like, oh, I need this. Like, I need this every single week. Like, Friday mornings used to be it for me. Like, 'cause I knew a new episode was dropping and I was going to get something. Regardless, it didn't matter what the topic was. Didn't matter if it was a guest. I knew it was going to be something that I could just kind of apply to the point where I had mentioned on numerous occasions, man, like, this is the most, like, this podcast changed my life. Like, it literally did. what do you think that connection is for you? What do you think it was that kind of resonated with you to put it in that space for you?
I think it's because for what I do in my career, like I don't have like a lot of like black men to like listen to or like hear about their life or like what they deal with, their struggles,
Yeah.
or like even their successes. Like of course I have like my family members and stuff, but even like in the media, like with the media you listen to, like for example, the JBP, there's episodes where they'll try to get, not try, they'll get deep into like stuff like that, but quickly Joe's gonna throw a joke to make it start off going one way. Flip is gonna say something, make you go somewhere else.
Mona gonna jump
Um,
in.
and then there's other shows that maybe do it, but it's not personable. You know what I mean? Like it don't feel good. For me personally, if I don't connect to it personally, I'm not gonna listen to it. Honestly, I'm not gonna check it out. I'm not gonna click play. Hey, so for something about this podcast, like just listening to it and just knowing, like, all right, these are people, black men just like me. Like that's why.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Appreciate you, brother, man. It's funny. I was going through the DM, and our first interaction was September of this past year, September 16th, man. What's up, fellas? My name is Najee Chandler. Huge fan of y'all podcast. I found y'all through Dead End and Spike Lou. Please keep creating these dope discussions because they help a ton, especially with where I'm at in life. Bless. And we kind of exchanged some things and a few messages. And, I think we gave you a shout out on one, and you was like, man, appreciate that, man. Y'all kind of made my day when I was going into work. And then December, you made it a point to send us your top podcast was Another Week in the Books. Your Spotify Wrapped, your number one listened to podcast was Another Week in the Books. And I told you in the message, and I'll say it again, man. We just can't thank you enough and tell you how much that means to have it kind of resonate. This podcast, and Spike Lee can touch more on it. It was just made for the right people. Like it's for who it's for. You know what I mean? There's no set person, but if it does find you, that we hope it resonates. So thank you, man. Thank you for supporting. And we're interested in getting into your story because I'm going into this blind. I really don't know anything about you other than what I see on IG, even to the point of your age. I'm assuming based off your email, were you born in 96?
Yep.
Okay, all right, because I know you got 96 at the end of it, so I figured that's the year you were born, which means you're a 9-year, excuse me. Am I doing this right? You're 11 years my junior, and you're about 35 years Spike's junior. And I know that's a big.
It would have been a better joke if you hadn't stumbled in the beginning. Yeah. You had to do this, son.
But I was trying to do the math. Hold on, 96 because I was born in 87. So yeah,
96 was my freshman year.
Actually, no, I'm sorry, 9 years. See, I fucked it up. Go ahead, Spike. Yeah.
96 was my freshman year of high school. Sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, so that lets you know the gap and stuff like that, man. So I'm interested in hearing it, especially because we don't have outside. You might be the youngest, not Mike. I think you are the youngest person we've had on outside of Nick, and Nick is in his 30s.
That's why this is exciting to me.
So you're turning. Are you 29, or did your birthday already pass, or did you already turn 30 for the year?
No, I turned 30. My birthday is January 22nd, so it's like top of the year.
My dog, nice. I'm January 26th. So I knew why we rock with each other, man. So I bet, man, this is gonna be a fun episode. Time? Yeah, Aquarius. Yeah, it starts January 20th is when Aquarius starts.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm excited for this one. Y'all hear the voices, man. We in book 2, chapter 67. We got our dog Najee, man. I'm your host, Rich, joined by the legend Spike Lou. Good to be back, man. Obviously, I was gone last week. Shout out to Dave for holding it down on First Fridays. Just to clear up, once again, we talked about the Spectrum Boys. Just to clear up Spike's moment. First Fridays are coming out. Like Dave's episode will come out the very first Friday of every month. I don't know what Lou was doing.
I still don't even know if it's right though.
That is right. That is you know what's funny about this? You do this often where
if I tell him first Friday, he come on the first Friday, it might be the second Friday.
No, he comes on. Listen, this is why I'm producer. This is why I produce. I make sure I do all the scheduling. I make sure that Dave's appearance is always lined up to be released with the first Friday of the month. Like, I see. Here's what I think it is, and I'm not even trying to be funny. I don't think Spike Lou looks at the dates. We've had conversations before where you'd be like, "Damn, it is It is the third week of the month, ain't it? Or damn, it is. So I don't think you really realize, and sometimes time moves so fast that I was like, oh, Spike Lee don't know that this is the first Friday of June.
I didn't.
Like, yeah, and that's cool. I figured as much. But it's always
Dro
funny when
pointed
I
it
hear
out to
it
me
because you
when
be
I talked
dead
to him
serious.
too, though.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, listening, like, why the fuck would we name it First Fridays and release it on the second Friday? But it's all good, man. It's all good.
That's
we kind of got
suspectful.
yeah, man. We kind of got into the preamble, how everybody's doing, man. I want to get into a few things, but before we do, I do want to catch up on some emails that we received from the past few episodes. So I'm gonna get into those right now. I'm gonna start with Dave's episode, and then I'm gonna get into Kelvin's because I do want to kind of touch on that just a little bit. What's going on with the? There we go. All right. I had a little bit of a delay. All right, so we did get a message from Golden Child 1123. Shout out to you. Great episode, guys. I think a good plan of action is to focus on actions that create momentum rather than trying to fix everything at once. They have definitely tried to wear us down, but we have to stay focused. Quitting is the only thing that leads to guaranteed failure. I think that was in reference to the state of everything right now when Dave asked you that, Spike Lou, and just kind of how to keep things going or keep things motivated. So shout out to Golden Child. She also left another message that said, great info on the investment segment and putting it in layman's terms for the average person to understand. Maybe y'all can add that in every now and then. And that's one of the feedbacks or one of the pieces of feedback that I had for Spike Lou. When he asked me, what you think about the episode with Dave, I'm like, bro, I could have listened to the investment segment, a little bit more just because Dave, he had the knowledge and he was talking in layman's terms. It wasn't anything that was over your head or something of that nature. So definitely appreciate that. And it made me want to call Dave and pick his brain on some things. And we also got a message from Larry Whitworth. Great episode, fellas. We appreciate that. And of course, Dave even commented saying, love doing this podcast with my brother. I'm humbled and honored to be a part of this community. And we feel the same way. Good brother Dave. So those are the comments from that episode. And I want to get into Kelvin's. Golden Child wrote in, great episode, guys. Thanks for sharing your story. Can't wait for part 2. Phil, shout out to my brother Phil. He wrote in and said, this might have been my favorite episode to date, and that includes my feature. Dave had mentioned speak light to yourself is so important. We must learn to make it a norm in our lives. Just talking about giving ourselves some grace. We had DLCJ06. Another dope conversation. Keep it up, fellas. Before pause before Spike loses it. If you know, you know. I guess that's for the keep it up. We got Public Enemy B. I was just talking about Public Enemy B out in DC. Dope episode as usual. I think it was cool how some of the things Kelvin said about celebrating those small wins as you progress towards your goals echoes Mo's memo from a couple weeks ago about forcing the optimism. And wow, the story he told about how he found his dad was incredible. And then we've got our last comment from Akash HHNM. Another incredible conversation about fatherhood that I think I subconsciously needed to hear because I either hear my own thoughts expressed by someone else for the first time or a completely different perspective on something that I don't know anything about. Both are really valuable because I grew up without my father in a community where that wasn't the norm at all. Thanks, Spike and Rich, as usual. Thanks to Kelvin for being so open about this. I know y'all touched on this already, you and Dave, but I got a ton of messages just about that episode and the insight that Kelvin brought and the openness and the vulnerability and sharing those things with us. So I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure it out as far as the impact that it had. And I want to give Kelvin a shout out. June 6th, his daughter was born. Remember, we mentioned that, his girl's pregnant. He actually had his daughter on
just
June
now.
6th.
Damn.
Yeah. It's 4 days ago. That's why. So it's funny. Najee was supposed to come on that week that Kelvin was on. And I learned about Kelvin, on Facebook. I learned he shared the story. And I'm just like, man, that producer had one on. I'm like, that's something here, man. We got to have a conversation about this. So thankfully, man, shout out to Najee. I was able to reach out to him and say, hey, man, you mind if we push yours back a little bit? Because I knew that Kelvin's daughter was due any moment. And I'm like, man, I don't want to push this to June and then he can't do it. And then it's going to be August, September before we can have this convo. So we kind of like were able to switch things around, and it worked out perfectly because you see a week or two later, now his hands are full with his daughter, man. She's back home now, healthy. So shout out to him, man. Congratulations to him and Tia. Absolutely, absolutely, man. And thank y'all for reaching out, man. Thanks for giving y'all thoughts and y'all comments on this. Fellas, how your week been going, man? How things been going in life?
Busy. Just busy, honestly, because season coming up and they cramming everything into what we in June. They want everything done by middle of July. So just busy, man. Yeah.
And we're gonna get more into what you do here in a second, man. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about
your role in your profession, man. Spike Lou, what about you, man? How you feeling, brother?
Yeah, it's been good, man. I've been sending you some stuff that I came across that has helped me this week. With some prompts for AI, some chat GPT shit to help you plan some stuff. So that's been fun diving into, and I'm looking forward to getting more into it. Just for what me and you have planned and what I want to do. But it's been fun. I've been enlightened and had fun this week, so I appreciate that.
I like that, man. What you just heard. The book came up. I've been listening to this book from Alexandra L. called "The Company We Keep: Friendship, Connection, and Redefining What It Means to Grow Together." I was having a moment where I was looking at some things and some people in life, and just kind of figuring some things out about myself as well. And I got a really good homegirl who was a therapist, and she was reading this book, and she was like, you know what, based off our conversation, a lot of this might hit home for you. And she recommended it, and it was really dope, man. It just kind of helps you navigate. When you're younger, you kind of think your friends are going to be your friends forever, and that's not necessarily untrue. But nobody really talks to you about that growing part where you just might be in different seasons of life, and it might be somebody that you're so used to or you're so accustomed to being around, and now you grow apart, not because of anything bad or any kind of fallout, but man, maybe they have a family now and I don't, or maybe I always tell people, man, when you're younger, it's easy because you're always around people like college age, even right after that, you're seeing these people every single day. But once you actually get in your routine, and you got your own things, man, it's more difficult. It's funny. A couple hours ago, I actually talked to one of my boys, man, one of my best friends since elementary school, and we hadn't chopped it up in a while, and he was telling me this information, and it made me like, damn, like, bro, I felt bad because I'm like, man, I ain't know any of this was going on. And it made me look at myself like, damn, bro, I should check in more. I should call more and things of that nature, like real life shit. And it was like, damn, all right. But it was good to catch up. And now that I know it's on my brain to kind of make sure that I check in, see how the situations are going. But just navigating all of that and kind of figuring out, I know we've had this conversation before, day ones, day twos, but it's just been a really dope book. It's a 4-hour listen if you're an audiobook person. Something light, and it's one of those things you can listen to and then go back later. You know what I mean? It's not like a novel where you gotta lose your place. You can listen to chapter 3 because it might be what you're going through at that moment, and also teaches you to give yourself some more grace as far as and advocate for yourself. You know what I mean?
What's the name of the book?
Express. The Company We Keep, and that's actually, and I'll be real, it's actually helped me with some relationships recently where I've been doing a lot of soul searching on the origin of things. So when I feel something, or let's say I feel a way about something, I've really been taking some time to stop and try to figure out, why do I feel like that? You know what I mean? Like, what is this about? Is this the person that did something? Is this something internally going on with me? Am I not communicating properly? And I think a lot of the times there's no issue with calling things out if you're doing it in a real manner or respectful manner, or you do the work to really find out what it is. And then you got to take a step back and say, you know what? I've been feeling like this, but I've been feeling like this because of this. And then the other person, what I've been finding out would be like, oh, damn, that makes a ton of sense. Like, I didn't even know this was going on, or I didn't know I was presenting that way. You know what? Now that you brought it to my attention, blah, blah, blah. I'm not getting into detail at the moment, but I'm sure it's something I'll talk about soon. But just those kind of conversations are just really dope, man. And it's cool to be on the same page with people and have those moments where both people can look at each other like, all right, you know what? I appreciate you saying that. I'm going to get better. And you leave it on. It ain't got to be no lingering thing, or it ain't got to be no, oh, well, I feel the way you said that, so now we ain't going to talk for X amount of time. It's just, that's how real, mature, adult relationships should work. And I'm appreciative of the book that kind of reiterated what I already knew. You know what I mean? So it's been a dope listen. I figured with a name like Another Week in the Books, we should start adding some reading sessions in. So I'm glad I've been able to pick up on that and go from there. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Oh, DC. Light
Yeah,
Real
how was
Film
the film?
Festival.
How was the film festival?
Bro, it was incredible, man. It was beyond what my belief could have been for it. Like seriously. The first the first thing I would say is you get a little bit for Culture Guard. Let me to put it in context. Culture Guard, which is a film podcast, with myself, Rachel, and School. School has been on book 2. Rachel's been on book 1. So they're both bookworms. They're both co-authors. That was like our first opportunity. That was the first time someone reached out to us and said, "Yo, we think y'all dope. We want you to do this." So what it was, Light Real Film Festival had their 7th annual festival. Every year they try to add something new. So the director called me and said, "Hey man, I think this year we're trying to do some podcasts in residence. Like we want a podcast on location to where people got somewhere to talk. Filmmakers, sponsors, whoever the case is, they got somewhere they can talk to people. We'll do it in 15-minute intervals. We'll have this space set up for y'all. Y'all kind of keep people rotating through." And it was like, huh? Us? Like that little bit of that imposter syndrome. Or that like honestly, when he called me, I thought it was a prank call. Not a prank call, but I thought it was a butt dial, a pocket dial. You know what I mean? Because I saw his name on my phone and I'm like,
You had his
mean to
number
call
already?
me? Yeah. We had, so he was on Culture Garden. Because we were covering Black Real Awards and we exchanged info. But that was like months and months prior. And we had never spoken. We had never texted, we never called, none of that. So a random December, I just get this phone call and I'm looking like, did he mean to call me? And I pick up. And then Tim, shout out to Tim Gordon, man. He's the director and founder of Light Real. He one of them people, like when he's working out an idea, you're on the phone with him, but he ain't talking to you. He's talking to himself and kind of working through the idea on himself and stuff like that. So I'm just sitting there listening. I'm like, all right, then that can work. And then slowly but surely, the pieces started coming together. They flew us out. Shout out to all the women out there, man. I see why y'all like getting flown out, man. I see why y'all getting flued out, man.
Say, not you got flew out.
Yeah, if I got flued out, man. The flight, the hotel, all of that, man. Put me up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But everything was set up, man, and it was all love, man. It was genuinely all love. And we talked to some really dope people. I talked to a 4-time Emmy winner, Stephanie Filo. I talked to two-time Oscar winners, and Russell Williams II and Willie Burton. They're both sound mixers. They're only 2 of 5 Black people who ever won 2 Oscars. Russell Williams is still, I think, the only Black person to win back-to-back Oscars. He's got some Emmys as well. And you excited about those? Terrell Shropshire, who's a world-renowned editor. She does all the Gina Prince Bythewood's movies. She's working on Children of Blood and Bone right now. And Willie Burton, who I just mentioned, he's Christopher Nolan's sound guy. So all these people with all these credible stories, as dope as that was, one of the most satisfying things for me was talking to the up-and-coming people, like the people who are like just now starting out, the people who are just now trying to like on the grind, trying to get people to see their films, who are working on the festival circuits, who are trying to get things done in this space, because I know what that's like. I know what it's like to build something and grind and really get people to like, yo, I promise you, man, all I need is a shot. Like if y'all watch it, I promise y'all gonna fuck with it. And being able to make those kind of connections. I talked about this brother named Matthew Price, man. He had a short film called Bid, which had to do with spades. It's like an 11-minute film, and it's like spades, and it's like coming of age thing. And it was a mixer that was going on, and we was chopping it up. And I could just tell he was a genuine dude. His movie sounded dope. So I was like, hey man, like come through tomorrow at 2:30. You know what I mean? We got some time. I'd love for you to come and sit with us. And he's in there sitting with us. We talking to him about the film. We had a great conversation. And at the end of it, he was like, man, this is my first interview ever. This is my first interview I've ever done. And it just made me feel good, because I'm like, man, I love the fact that we can provide a platform, and we really want to champion you. We really want to encourage you. We really want to support. And that was everybody. We told everybody, if you ever got something you want to promote, whatever the case is, come holler at us, man. We'll make sure we do that, and we'll keep that connection as well. So overall, 10 out of 10, man. Light Real. I don't know how you top that experience, because they really laid everything out for us, man, and everything was like super dope, man. So I'm grateful for that.
So you didn't feel being that this was your first event, did you feel out of place at all?
Hell nah. Hell nah. Because you have a little bit of, wow, this is a big moment. But I literally told School and Rachel, like before anything, I said, bro, like, I want y'all to both remember, man, we all deserve to be here. Like, we worked for this. Like, this wasn't we picked this up yesterday and now we getting this invite. Nah, man, we've been grinding. The days that we've been working our full-time job and then coming through and recording, the days we didn't want to, like, we kept going. We made sure we didn't disappear. We made sure we put in the work. And all of that stuff matters, man. Those little moments, that brick by brick that they talk about, those are the moments that prepared us for this. So when we got in the room, it's like, hey, man, put it like this. That muscle memory and those reps come into play. So I don't know if anybody's been seeing, like, I forget the dude's name, the streamer, Dean. He been with AB, Adrian Broner.
I've seen his clips, yeah.
Dean, I forget the dude's name, Dean the Great. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's been seeing these recently, but there's been some clips of AB in the ring, like not even in the ring, but in the gym, and kind of like teaching a little bit. And AB has obviously been in the news for being drunk and being out of shape. But when you see him like in his element, even out of shape, you just see how quick he is, how fast he is, just how his body, because of all the reps he's been doing since he was a kid, like his body can't help it. That's just who he is. He moving quick and he moving. It's like, damn. So people now looking at him in a positive light, like, yo, he should coach. I love to see him get back in shape because he still got it. But you can tell the knowledge and what he's able to pass on, and even the people that marvel at his skill set. And I look at it not to that degree, but a little bit more of the same. Like, yo, we've been doing this. Like, trust the work. Like, we come in every single week and we put the work in.
So even though it's your first one, being there and doing that, from doing all the work that you've done in podcasting, it made you feel more comfortable because you knew what to go to. Like, you had your stuff. Najee, I want to include you in the conversation in the sense of, one, where you from?
Born and raised in Jersey.
How you become a Baltimore Ravens fan?
He said, "Pay me."
Well, yeah, they do.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to understand. Are you a Ravens fan if they wasn't paying you, or did you have another team?
So I was a Jets fan, but that's because home.
Yeah.
And that's where I got my start at, like my whole career.
Okay.
That's the very first thing I ever got. But I always admired the Ravens organization because being a sports fan, that, like, all right, there's organizations that are like top class. They just do stuff right. No matter like if they have a winning season or not, they just do stuff right. And to me, the Ravens are one of those organizations, and I always had a respect for that. But Lamar has always been my favorite quarterback. Like, I think right before he signed his contract extension, me being a Jets fan, or used to be a Jets fan, whatever. Of course you have like those moments, is like those what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Like you think you want to get Lamar, but damn well
optimism.
Yeah, like he's staying a Raven. Like, of course I have those moments as a
false hope is what we call
it. False hope, basically. So like I always had respect for the Ravens, but being here and seeing how it is in person every day on a day-to-day basis, it makes me a fan. And honestly, I am a Raven, so yeah, this is my team, this is my job, this is my home.
You're based out of Baltimore right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And what you do from a creative standpoint, like I've seen your stuff online. I follow you. Once you sent the message to the show, I definitely made it a point to follow you and seeing some of the dope shit that you did. Explain that in layman's terms to the people listening as to, one, how you got into it, and two, what it is you do on a day-to-day basis.
So I'm the senior graphic designer for branding and advertising for the Baltimore Ravens. So to put it lightly, if you look at the billboards when you walk in your city or drive on the highway, the kiosk designed in a mall, or when you walk in a metropolitan town, the shirts you see in stores, the logos, a little bit of social media, the website, we design all that. So,
nigga, hold on, let me be a nigga for a second. How the fuck you get that job? Like, what? Like, nigga, how you get that job?
All right, so to put it easily, I basically just applied, but like that whole story, like backstory of that is crazy. But I basically applied and got the job. But the way I got here is just by countless years of just putting my head down and just working, just designing, creating my own opportunities, basically getting how I live, man, just making it work, making it happen. That's how I got it. It's a lot behind how I got here.
We here to
Okay.
talk about all of it. This is the perfect
Yeah.
platform to really get
This
into
what
that, a
you
lot
here
of
for.
it. So I just want to pick up on Spike Lee's question, because let's talk about the journey. Because I know you worked with Rutgers. You mentioned the Jets. I believe the Mets, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken, correct.
Yep.
Baltimore. I feel like I'm missing someone. SNY. What's SNY?
That's the TV channel for the Mets. So you know how
Okay.
like the Knicks is like MSG TV network and the
The
Yankees is
Yankees got their
Yes.
own Yes Network. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Mets is SNY.
So let me ask you. Let me start it like this. One of the things that I did find interesting when I went to the festival, and I'm talking to people in the industry, is how many times people were like, "I didn't even know I could do this. Like, I didn't know this was a career option." So I'm talking to a four-time Emmy award-winning editor, right? And she was like, "I didn't even know." And this was in another interview she had that I was watching, but she said, "I didn't even know being an editor was like a lane. I didn't, I thought maybe I could be a writer, but then I realized this was it." I'm always marvel at people who find their lane early. Like, at what point in your life did you know, like, oh, I want to do this? I want to be a senior designer, or did it even work like that? Did you stumble into it, or did you know you had a passion for it and you were going to follow it?
So technically I stumbled into it. So backstory, I've been designing since I was like 7 years old. Like um I would like get permanent marker and draw on my t-shirts. I grew up a skate rat, so I had a bunch of boards. I would draw designs on the bottom of my boards. Before Photoshop, when I had my mom, we had like a family PC in the parents' room. I would create designs on Microsoft Paint, and they'll be ass, man. They'll be shit, but it was like my beginning of being a designer. I didn't know I was going to be in sports design because that just happened randomly one day. So like yeah, started designing when I was like 7 years old. Um, and at first, well, I think at first the first bug I got was the entrepreneurial design, own your own company bug. It started
Mhm.
with that. So me growing up a skate rat, I wanted to be a pro skater. I wanted to have like my own board brand. And I remember like the first thing I designed, I was like actual in my hands was, I think before I graduated 8th grade, my mom, or no, not 8th grade. It was like, it's probably like 6th or 7th grade. We went on a field trip and my mom knew that I wanted to have my own clothing brand. So she got me like my own LLC. Like, you know how like you write something in the mail and you send it to yourself. That's like your own LLC thing, whatever.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did that, but I don't think it actually worked because I didn't get nothing
It
in the
worked.
mail.
I
Oh
mean, it
well, I
works.
got
Yeah. Like it stands in court if somebody tries to steal it from
I got another LLC somewhere. I don't know where that thing is at, but
Mhm.
yeah. So we created like some shirts and printed it on like created. I created design off Microsoft Paint, and we got it printed it, and that was like my first like entrepreneurial thing. Now I didn't make no money off of that. We gave it away
and
to
this
all
is
my.
seventh grade.
This is like 7th or 6th grade. I don't think it
Okay.
was graduation though. It was way before then. And we went on a field trip at my school, and we gave it away to all my classmates. I knew they didn't like it. It was shit. Like the quality was terrible. It was like some
What
terrible
was it?
build.
What was it?
So it was like the name of the brand was Mesmerized Skateboards. So it was like
Mhm.
an M and a Z together, but
Okay.
it was bad. Like
So
Microsoft.
you took your love of designing and drawing and wanting to create and your love for skateboarding and you put that together and you made a t-shirt and you try to
Yeah,
sell the t-shirt to your classmates.
I don't even know if I tried. I think we just gave it away.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you
because it was
created an LLC. So business was being done somewhere. Like even if you wasn't selling it to them, you wanted to sell them like on
exactly.
okay.
But since we did that since I was so young, like it didn't go anywhere because, of course, me being me, like my mind's going everywhere. Like, all right, right here, I wanted to be a professional skateboarder, have my own brand, but then on the other side of that, I'm I'm a natural born sneakerhead. My mom's a shoe head, and I'm a sneakerhead. So I wanted to be a sneaker designer on the side of that. Like I don't know, I don't know if y'all know the brand Etnies. They used to have like their
Yeah.
own Nike ID thing where like you can create like your own Ryan Sheckler
Yep.
colorways, shoes, and I would create like 20 pages of designs I made online. And even on Nike ID as well. Like I would create designs I wanted to create, like, and I'll bring them into school, like, yo, these are my shoes, these are my signature shoes. I'm gonna make these, I'm gonna get these done. And then of course, as you get older, like sneakers stuck with me because I'm still a sneakerhead. Like you guys can't see it around here, but it's just cases of sneakers. But like I wanted to do that, so that was another creative thing. Like so, honestly, it just been like just design that it's always been in me and it stuck with me. And like I found it at a young age, and there was different levels to it, but my main base is design. So and I quickly learned that becoming this sneaker designer is fucking hard as hell. So yeah, not
So
basically yeah.
I heard you say something that I wonder about, and it goes to a lot of the conversations that we've had here. You said you told your mom what it was that you were thinking that was intriguing to you, and she immediately thought to start an LLC. Like
Yep.
what did she do? And two, is it a dual parent household or a single mother household? Like,
So dual parent.
okay, was your dad as in like was he into what you were doing as much as your mother? Like, as far as the LLC being started and her hearing her son say, "I like to do this," I'm going and her going to start the business from it. That don't happen a lot. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with parents,
Yeah.
for her to hear that and say like, "Nah, we're gonna do this and we're gonna run with it," and to see where you are now, I think that was substantial in your path.
It played a huge part because it gave me the confidence I needed. Um,
Yeah,
so but my mom is a caterer. She has her own catering business. She doesn't do it
that
as
makes
much now
sense.
because she
Okay,
got
now it makes
older.
sense.
And she's like a natural like sewer. Like she makes pillowcases, she
That makes sense.
sews, uh she does hair,
So she's an
hairdresser.
entrepreneur herself. So when she hear her son coming to her as a creative on some entrepreneurial shit, she like, okay, here go the first step, LLC. I got you. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly.
That
So
makes complete sense.
basically I am like my mom, basically. Like she has her creative outlets and she did start her own business. She doesn't do it now, and she instilled that into me.
Gotcha. Makes
I
sense.
always I always find the common thread of like people with phenomenal talent, and I'm saying that about you because I do think you have phenomenal talent. From everything I've seen, and even where you are at this age, um, it always takes one person. Or should well, not always. It only takes one person to see an interest. Right? It's so easy to see somebody take an interest in something and just dismiss it as, oh, okay, that might just be a hobby or that just might be a fad. But actually, be like, nah, you seem to like that. I know I've mentioned this before, but Piece by Piece, the Lego movie for real. Like he tells that story about him being 2, 3 years old in the kitchen, pulling out his grandmother's pots and pans and just drumming on them. And she looked and was like, all right, bet. And she went out and bought him a little drum set. And we talking about for real, like you needed somebody to kind of see that because this can. The biggest thing is dismissing it. Like I said, just like, oh, that's just a hobby. I think about that with film, right? That's something where I never knew like film school was like a possibility. You get what I'm saying? Like it was just more so, oh, I like film. It's just a hobby of mine. But I'm like, no, I love film. Like, and
Yeah.
if I could go back, I probably would have explored that route a lot more. But for me, it was just like, oh, this is just a hobby. This is something to do. Movies ain't going nowhere. I can watch them, whatever. So it's always cool to notice that and know that there's a lane and an avenue. So shout out to your mom for setting that up for you. Um, as you are moving along, I want to get into like high school years and college. Cause I'm assuming you majored in this, right?
Yeah, I did. And that's honestly one thing I do regret doing, but yeah, I did.
Oh, that's
Wow.
interesting. Why you regret major in? Was your major graphic design? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Okay, what made you regret that?
it was too easy because
Mm.
I knew everything before I got there. Like
So it didn't challenge you at all.
no,
What would
I
you have
took
done?
What about wait. Before you get to that, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. What about the connections though? Like when you were going through the graphic design program at the college, that's what they sell college on is the connections and the people you meet. It wasn't worth it still in that sense.
Well, it was because I like the connections I made were like I went to college with some people that I went to high school with, and we're both like we're all in the same industry. Like my good friend Reggie, who we went to high school and college with, he was with the Panthers. He was with me at Rutgers. He got me my Rutgers job, helped me get it.
Mm,
And now he's if y'all watch the NBA on NBA on Amazon Prime,
yeah.
if you watch like the graphics and stuff, that's him. So he's a part of that
Mm.
agency that does all that stuff. So it
Oh,
the connections is cool. It's the part where it's like, yo, I would bullshit on classes. There's like other people are taking weeks to do a graphic design project. I'm waking up at like 10 a.m. I'll throw something together, present it. I got an A+, but they're like
you on your
they're
Will
going
Hunting
through
shit.
it. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You
Like they're
Will
going
Hunting
through
pretty
it.
much.
Yeah,
The way Will Hunting was with math is how you were with graphic design. Like I can just wake up and do this shit.
exactly. And that's exactly what I did. But
What do you attribute that to? Is that a natural gift or is it just like because you've been doing it for so long?
that and plus like I illegally downloaded Photoshop when I was in high school. When I was a freshman in high school. Gave my old laptop viruses and all that, but it was worth it though because I've been doing it since then. Like I self taught. Like that's it. It's just self taught. Besides me doing like one semester in art school, like a small art school, that was mostly just like illustrator stuff, like what do you call it, like illustrations. Other than that, it's self taught. So everything that was taught in college, I already knew. So there was
Mm.
no challenge. It was easy, man. But at the same time, like I get it, the connections, but there's I could have done something that could have helped me with other lives or other things in life besides design.
So I'm curious. I'm curious about this. What would you have majored in if you could go back and do it? And do you think that that might have deterred you from actually entering design? Like maybe you get into another major. Oh, I like this. Now I'm going to use design as a hobby versus a career. Like, do you ever think
Pro-
about that?
yeah, probably because I think about it now because I do think about going back to grad school, but marketing or like business management or like business administration, something like that,
Hmm.
because it feeds the entrepreneurial side and the design side at the same time. If that makes
Got you.
sense. Yeah.
No, it makes a ton of sense, man. It takes a ton of sense. That's the fact that you self-taught. I always marvel at the people who just have this immense talent. Like we had Nate on, man. Nate's that's my brother, man. We had him on. He's an artist. We had them on some many, like not many chapters ago, probably in the 30s or something. When he came on, he was talking about his journey and his designs being stolen and this, that, and the third. And he's
I
like
remember
that.
that.
He taught himself how to play the piano. He taught himself how to draw. I mean, he booming, like just showcase after showcase, everything. Do you ever stop and just like, do you know how good you are? I guess that's the question. Or can you even look at it like that?
I can't look at it that because I am my own worst critic at the same time. Like I know I can always be better and do better. I can create a design that to other people they think is fire, but I'm like, damn, I could have done this completely different way. Like it's gonna stick with me. So yeah, I'm my own worst critic, honestly.
What you think
Mm.
that is? Because I'm the same way. Like people tell me all the time, "Oh, you got the best hip hop podcast," and I'm like, bro, like, no, it's still there's these things that can be done that can make it better, and I don't receive the praise like I should. And I've seen some of the shit you did, like that drop you, a couple of drops you did. Like I was looking at you, like me and Rich talked about it. It was like, damn, that shit was fire.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
What do you think it is for people like us that will say, yeah, I hear you saying that it's the best this, it's the best that, but it don't satisfy me. Is that detrimental to us?
It might be,
I
but
don't think it is. I don't think it is.
You don't
I'll
think
let you
so?
answer. I want to let Najee
I
answer, and
want to hear.
I'll
Okay.
tell you why.
like I like when I think about it, the words of like living in the moment or not living in the moment comes to mind, if that makes sense. Like for an example, the next flight, the uniform reveal, like all that stuff we created, other people think is dope. But at the same time, it's like, yo, I could have done this different. I'm looking at the big reveal, the event they did. I could have done this texture different. Like I designed the cards where I could have done this card different. It's like you're not. It's just not living in the moment. It definitely works against us of like knowing like, yo, look what you just did. Like
Hmm.
you
What
helped you.
works against us in like stealing the joy of it, or like works against us in the sense, because I think I know where Rich is going to go when he jumps in here. It does keep that fire lit inside of you. But
Hmm.
Najee, I'm just like you in the sense, like, bro, again, I went to your page and saw some fire shit. Like when you did the whole wooden box thing, I'm like, damn, that shit cold. And the same thing, if someone would told me 12 years ago before I started like getting really into podcast, like, bro, people are going to hit you up on numerous occasions and say, oh, you got the best hip hop podcast that it is. That would have been great for me 12 years ago. But now in this moment in dating, hearing it and knowing what else needs to come with that, it's like, yeah, that's fine. But what that mean? And I don't know if it's good or bad.
I don't honestly, man. I'm trying to think. I don't know if it's good or bad either because I've been dealing with it for years.
So, all right, I'll give a couple thoughts on this. For one, I understand the mindset of not letting, like, in some sense, when you still playing, you ain't thinking about your Hall of Fame speech, right? Like, it's hard to think about my jersey in the rafter when I'm still actually playing the game. Like, I still got stuff to get better on, and I think that's a bonus. That's something that's great because we can all look at it as, I still got to get better. I still got to sharpen my craft and everything else. I do think so. Spike Lee, in your case, right? Having the best hip hop podcast, which I do agree with. I agree with that 100%. I think you've been doing it long enough to where you can acknowledge that. Like, I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's almost like the perfect movie. Like, what else can you do? Like, doing what you do is more than enough. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know we have
Yeah.
this natural instinct to improve things, and maybe maybe they're so minute that nobody would even notice. Maybe it's just for you, or maybe it's just for AB. Like the way y'all do things or tweak things, where it won't make a difference to the listener, but it makes a difference to you. But outside of that, I don't know if the show can go any higher, and that's not a detriment. Like I think you maxed out and you peaked out, and you can max out for 10 more years and 20 more years. But what I mean that in the compliment of not that y'all can't get better. It's like, damn, what does that even look like? Because y'all so fucking good at it. I think what it does for you is now it makes you look at everything else in that space. Okay,
Yeah.
bet. I accomplished that. You know what I mean? I climbed that mountain. I'm good with that. Best hip hop podcast, that's stamped. The same way we talk about good earners, right? We talk about it all the time. Because I've never heard you talk about this about good earners. You never stopped the idea of we got the best Sopranos podcast and be like, oh, now I don't know if that's because that had an end date on it versus like On Deck doesn't have an end date. That's gonna end whenever y'all feel like ending it. Where we knew Sopranos has a last episode and we go from there, but we still can look at that work and be like, yo, this is the best Sopranos podcast that exists. Like, do you look at it as the fire of, okay, I've accomplished this, so I know it's possible. Can I have the best social platform podcast? Can I have the best television podcast? Can I have the best movie podcast? Do you even look at it in that sense where, all right, I can keep it and go to the next challenge?
That's a good question. With good earners, the difference in that and On Deck for me is like I went into good earners thinking that we could be the best that ever did that. And I think we
Mm,
accomplished that. I think that
it's
we
funny.
accomplished that. Like I feel like that if you're talking about a Sopranos review podcast, scene for scene, like nobody did it better than you, me, and Mo. With On Deck, I always tell the story like that. Me and AB we started that sharing a USB mic, and we didn't know what it would be, what it would turn into, like how people would receive it. People have gotten a lot more recognition from their podcast than we have. So when I started that, it was like, I don't know what the fuck this is gonna be. So when people say I'm listening to this, and this is the people who are well in the hip hop community, and they say I'm listening to this, and this is the best hip hop podcast that I've listened to, it's difficult for me to process in the sense of, yeah, I get it because we worked hard at doing it, but also if this is that, then where are the legs for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know, you know. Just like with Another Week in the Books, a lot of the podcasts that I do, if you know, you know, and you fuck with it, and you do it, you like it, you love it, you tune in every week, just like Najee was saying when you're going to work. However, when you're telling me that, I feel like my thought process going into it was that if it did get to that point where people were saying that, it will be different, just from a business standpoint, and it's not. And that's a me thing. And I'm not mad at it, but it's just a thing that's like, that's interesting. That's a thing that I think about when people tell me that, and it doesn't make me hesitant to believe them. I do believe them when they say that because I know how people enjoy it. But it's like, damn, if it's that, then why ain't it this?
So let me step in real quick, man, because this is where we always have these conversations, and it's, as your brother, it's where I feel like I need to step up and challenge you more.
Okay.
Because I think you probably have an idea where I'm going.
I don't.
When do you stop and tell people, hey, best hip hop podcast? Like, nobody can tell from your promotion. And I'm gonna point this out. And I hope this is received in the correct context. I wish that On Deck had the same social media presence as Who Gave You a Podcast. Like, I don't understand, and like, I don't know the inner workings, and it's not even that, but I don't understand why one has one and the other doesn't. You get what I'm saying? Because I think it could be the same thing. Because when I look and I'm seeing Questlove commenting, and I'm seeing Tony Baker commenting, and I'm seeing Ace Hood comment, and I know the topic was about Ace Hood, and I'm seeing all these other names, Offset commenting on these posts, and I'm seeing 2,000 likes and 329 comments. It's more so like, damn, I don't even listen to that pod. And now, granted, I'm not a podcast listener. I want to make sure I put that out there for context. I don't really listen. The only podcast I listen to consistently is On Deck. And that includes this podcast I'm a part of. I don't really listen to myself. So I just want to make sure I put that out there for context. But it does make me wonder, like, damn, if that got the same push, I think more people would understand that this is the best hip-hop podcast. And like I said, I'm sure there's a rhyme and a reason to all of it, but it is something as a viewer, it's like, that's interesting. But that also lays a little bit on you, and we've had this conversation before, had the same conversation with myself, and this is what really got me super motivated coming back from that festival. One of the things that I took away from somebody in that space is you got to build your brand because people are listening for you. What you talk about is secondary. You know what I mean? And I think you've got to a point, Lou, in your whole podcast space where you could talk about the grass growing. You could talk about paint drying, and people are going to tune in because you're going to have a unique perspective. The prompt that you sent, right? What did it say? You make conversations interesting. It's not about the conversation. It's the fact that you make people want to pay attention to them. And I think we both need to do a better job of building that brand and really, like, not viewing ourselves as podcasters, but as like people of the culture who can, like, the tastemakers. Like, I'm over here saying all of this. So all of that kind of plays. I know that was very long-winded, but part of it is our own detriment, but the other part is, all right, so how do we build this and make it to what it is? Because I told you yesterday on the phone, or Monday on the phone, we were talking, if a tree falls in the forest, it doesn't make a sound. So if you have the best hip-hop podcast, but nobody knows about it, or you're not telling anybody about it, to your point, what does it mean? The ones that know. So, yeah. How do you take? What do you take when I say all that?
I agree with you. I don't think that you said anything wrong there in the sense of I know where the shortcomings are in the hip hop podcast. If you want this, like, if you want more people to say this is the best hip hop podcast that I listen to, here are the things that you have to do. But I don't know if I don't know that I'm doing the things for that to happen.
Can I ask
And
you a
how I,
question?
yeah,
Once you, my fault. Go ahead.
no, go.
The fact that you've been doing this for over a decade, that podcast in
Yeah,
particular,
yeah.
is there even the same type of desire to do it? Because it's almost like it's so
No, it
autonomous,
is
right?
because I
It,
know how good it is though. Like
okay, so even all
I've
these years
never,
later, you still want
yeah,
to look at, you still
even
want it to
all
be
these
you.
years later, and I'm sure Najee can relate to this in what he talked about when he went to school, and he was like, "Bruh, like y'all taking 2 weeks to do this project. I can do this shit in 2 hours because I've been doing this shit for so long. This is my
Mhm.
bag. I know what this is." So when people talk about the chemistry that me and AB have on deck, or the things that we talk about that they didn't know about and they're enlightened by, it's like, yeah, this is what I do, and it's not a thing for me to say, oh, I felt good in doing this episode. It's a thing for me in the sense of like this was easy. Like we walked out here, we smoked this in 60 minutes. Like On Deck is the easiest podcast that I do. Is
Yeah.
the mic still on? Frames per second. Another week in the books. No more half measures, good earners. The easiest thing that I do is On Deck because of the rapport with me and AB and how we know the shorthand with each other. We've been doing it for so long. It's the first thing that I started with. That was the most important thing to me at one point when I did start this. So that I've died. How to make that great, I know that like the back of my hand, just like AB do. That's the easiest thing that I do. And I'm not
So
saying easy in the sense of I can show up and mail it in. I'm saying easy in the sense of I know the rhythm. I know my other person that's on the other side of me. I know, like, it don't matter if AB is having a bad day or I'm having a bad day or there are no topics. That don't matter. That matters with all of the other stuff. With another week in the books, with frames per second if it's not a good movie, with is the mic still on if there's not a good, like, a lot of good topics to talk about socially. Well, I feel like I want to talk about them. None of that matters when it comes on deck. The only thing that matters is I'm going to show up and we're going to do this thing every week like we've been doing for the last 13, 14 years. That's the easiest thing it is for me to do.
all right, so we're gonna get back to Najee in a second, but I got it. I'm compelled to do this right now, like in real time. If I and I want your honest answer. If I came up with a plan, like just for you to kind of push yourself out a little bit more from a social media standpoint, right? If I came up with a plan and said, "Hey, Spike Lou, like, here's a game plan. Like, post post on this day, whatever the case is, right? Just a game plan or something to just kind of get the podcaster out. Do you think it's something you could do? Or literally, I'm giving you the direction, like, hey, you should do this, post it. Do you feel like you would be able to do it?
I need more context. Like,
Um,
do you mean like here, post this, here's the video, or go find the video and post it? Because there's a
no,
difference in that.
I know you're not going to find the video. I know you well enough to know
Right.
you're not going to
Mm,
go find the video and do that. So
exactly.
if I, because I listen to On Deck, right?
Right. So
And
so you're saying if you listen to On Deck and you sent me 4 clips from listening to
if
On
I
Deck
went
and
to
said
YouTube,
you
clip
should
them up,
post this.
send them to you, and
Oh
tell
yeah.
you post this on your page,
Yeah.
okay, you would do that.
I could do that. Absolutely.
Okay,
But I can't
okay.
find it. I can't be the person in charge of being
That's
like, well,
listen. I know you. I know who you are, and I would never ask you to do that because I know it would never get done. Right? That's where producer Rich comes into play. But if I literally said, all right, then despite Lou, we need to start doing this. You need to start posting this amount of times a week, whatever the case is. That's something I can count on you to do.
yeah, I could do that.
All right, say less. All right, that's it. Najee, let's jump back into it. Then it's something like, listen, this is a project now. All right, so y'all heard it here. So if you don't see Spike Lou posting anything, it's not because he's not
It
posting. It's
mean
because I
it
didn't
mean
send him something.
he didn't send
Yeah,
it
that
to me.
means I fucked something up. Right. So now it's an accountability for both of us because I'm working on my own thing now for myself and for our pages. When I say us, I mean Culture Garden, we got y'all. So in the mix of that, Spike Lou, you're now in that rotation to where, all right, bet, here's some
I
clips,
accept.
post these on your page.
I accept.
All right, bet. Say
And
less.
you
We're
got,
gonna we gonna
hey,
circle back to that.
it's in 4K now, so you gotta stick with it.
I
Yeah, man.
accept.
Because and I've said this before, man. Like, that's my brother, man. So I'm not gonna sit here and like I can't hear Spike Lee tell me like or voice concern about how we get to that point, and I have an idea and don't share it with him, or don't have a chance to. And I know him well enough, and the same way he knows me well enough to where if we say it like this on a public platform, now the gauntlet's been thrown and we can't back out. If me and Spike Lee was just on our Monday phone calls and we just talking shit, it's easy to never follow up on that. But now this is the case. And now, once again, it shows about, all right, are we the men we say we are? Are we the people we say we are? Do we take this as serious as we do? So now it's something that, like, because like I said, I'm just into it. But going back to your story, you were mentioning things being easy for you, what major you would have chosen. I'm assuming you had an internship somewhere when it came to graphic design, correct?
Yeah. Well, so in high school when I started designing, I first downloaded Illustrator. So first I was an illustrator doing like graphics like that, like vector art, and I would post like, well, I would make like illustrations of Jordan, uh, a bunch of Jordan sneakers, like the threes, the sixes. I would post it on Twitter, and people would, like, this is when Twitter would like, you can post something, put a hashtag, and a lot of people will see it. So we'll get like a
Yeah.
lot of retweets. So what I would do is I would make illustrations of like, my favorite pro skaters growing up, of like a photo in the magazine, take that and make an illustration, post it. And I did it for one of my favorite skaters at the time, who still is. He's technically my OG. Gave me my first opportunity. Um, his name is Jimmy Gorecki. He used to skate for Ice
Yeah.
Cream. See,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Even
So
the
the ice,
novice person knows who Jimmy Gorecki is, in my opinion.
yeah. So Ice Cream skate team. I love Ice Cream growing up. Got the CD. I had like 2 pairs or 3 pairs from like Finish Line off of Cell Rack. So I used to do illustrations of that, and he caught wind. Like I did one from him, and he saw it, and he gave me my first opportunity. So his,
Can I
I
stop
don't know
you
if
right there?
yeah.
Can you go into that a little bit more? Like, so because I'm fascinated
Yeah.
at the fact that he found you.
How did he
Like
see it?
yeah. How did he see it? And he presented you with an opportunity. How did that all pan out?
So I would post them on my Instagram. Just like I don't even know what the caption would be, but it would be like tag Jimmy Gorecki, tag Antoine Dixon, tag Terry Kennedy, tag Keith Huffenagel, RIP. And they would see it. Like I did one for Manny Santiago, and he saw it and commented. Like I would like do designs for like Diamond Supply Co. and Nikki Diamonds would see it and like it. Like this is when you can post something, put a hashtag, and they would see it and they will repost it, they will share it, they will like this. This is during that time. So I did an illustration for Jimmy. He saw it, he loved it, and then this was when right before Dreams and Nightmares came out. I think.
2019.
2011. You talking about Dreams of Nightmare, Meek?
Yeah, me.
Shout out to Brian. You talking about Brian or Meek?
Nah, Meek.
I was like, that'll be a funny, man. Shout
He's
out
only
to
big
Brian,
man,
man. LeBron hilarious. But
He's
either
the
way,
funniest person.
So-
One of the funniest people on earth.
So honestly, about a quick thing about that, I don't know if it was here or somebody else was talking about it. Braun, people like Braun with Nike, they don't really do anything about that. That's all like the design team doing that stuff. They'll
I was
present
on
it.
deck. They had a conversation
No, wait.
about whether
I
or
got
not
so many
LeBron even
questions.
knew.
Wait, I got so many questions then. So if Nike has a Dreams and Nightmares campaign, right? They don't run that by LeBron, and he don't think that Meek did this. That don't happen.
They either they run it by him real quick, or it's somebody in his team that's working with Nike.
And they say, so the whole thing that I'm failing to realize here is no one in LeBron's camp, like you said, they're running by someone or him. No one understands that no, Dreams and Nightmares is a thing, and this whole lion half face half person thing, Meek did that already. Like nobody knows that. That's what you're
So
telling me?
so here's the thing. Somebody in the building can know it, but does that person see it? Does their eyes see it?
Wait, somebody in the building from Nike's team or LeBron's team?
Nike's team. Because there's a
Okay,
bunch
so
of times they
so
can do
okay, so
something.
let's say Nike team knows about it. When they take it to LeBron's team, nobody from LeBron's team is gonna be like, nah, this ain't cool. That ain't how that world work.
It can like it don't get me wrong, it can like it can work like that.
Okay.
But usually when something like that happens, that means somebody's eyes didn't really see it. Or they don't care. Or they don't have the knowledge about dreams and nightmares actually.
They don't care. That's where I fall on it. I think they just don't care about offending me.
I about to say, I think the question that I have from it is, in that world and the way things work, how involved is the, and let's take LeBron out of it, how involved is the central figure even in that process? Like, you know what I mean? Are they, I know it might be able to vary. Are they very hands-on in the design, or is it like, here's the design, it's ready to go, I'm going to take a quick look, bet, let's go ahead and push it without thinking
I
twice
think
about it?
I think they're involved, but like they're working on so many shoes at one time. Like they're probably working on the LeBron. I don't know which number he's on right now, but like the next three LeBron. So
24, yeah.
yeah, so he's quickly seeing it. It's like, all right, this is cool. I like this, I like that, and then on to the next one. Like they're involved, but there's so much in their faces. Like they're probably signing off on something, or they're not really thinking too deeply about it, or they know it's a not a shot, but like a nod to Meek. But they think it's cool. Like, all right, Meek will probably love that.
Okay.
Could we
I get
see,
that.
because
get that.
to the
That's
same
cool.
conversation, this recently happened with, I forget which album cover it was. 2 Chainz had the cover of one of his mixtapes with the Nike shoebox and the money in it. And he said, and I think Nike released something recently, and Nike got some explaining to do, but they found the origin, which was something from years and years and years ago before anybody did it. So it was one of those situations where it looked like, and this could be lack of knowledge as another option. 2 Chainz looked at it as, oh, y'all took my idea. And then it was really, and now like you took somebody else's idea. This isn't even your original thing. So it's kind of a mixture of all of that.
Yeah,
What it sounds like.
that's the thing in like the design industry is like nothing's new. I mean, some stuff is new, but like there's you always get an idea from somewhere else, like for inspiration or reference. Like you always get it from somewhere.
It's like
So
movies.
yeah, yeah. So it's 2 Chainz didn't create that box because I did a box design like that like years ago. I it's not up in my portfolio now because it's terrible. But like that was like when I was freshman year of high school. So I didn't get it from 2 Chainz. I got it from somewhere else. So it's yeah, it's just recycled ideas, honestly. But I didn't mean to like throw this off track. My fault.
No. That's what this
You didn't.
podcast is for, man. Just
No, you
natural
didn't.
conversation, man. You good. You good. All right. So my bad. You were talking about the internship at Jimmy Garecki and just that first opportunity. Like, so he reached out to you.
So he reached out to me to do design for his wife, an album cover, because his wife is Dev. And you know the song Fly Like a G6?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's his wife. So she sings that. So this was like when I don't know if it was like her first album. So I did like a few album covers. I don't think the record label chose any of them, but I was appreciative, just like, yo, this is like my first design opportunity, like for like altogether. This is the one that put me on. This is the first opportunity I got. Like, all right, this is how I talk to people. This is what you want. So that did a lot for me. And so as a thank you for that, he at the time, this was when like Street League was just starting, and I got to go to Street League for free at Nork Prudential Center. So like I went with my mom, my 2 cousins, and I mentioned Dreams and Nightmares because this was around the time that New Jersey got hit with the big hurricane. I don't know. This might have been
Kalina,
Sandy.
was it Sandy? Okay, gotcha.
I think this was Sandy. So yeah, that whole time that was crazy. A lot of stuff was happening at once. Getting to meet one of my favorite pro skaters growing up, that was tough, man.
How'd you get into skate? Like, what was it about skating that drew you in?
Here's the thing. I for the life of me, I cannot remember. It's like it's blurry. I like when I've been skating since I was 4 years old, and I remember getting Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 for the PS2 for Christmas. But at the same time, I remember having a skateboard, a Dragon Ball Z skateboard from like Toys R Us. And I drew that's the skateboard I drew on. So I don't
Mhm.
remember if I got the skateboard first or the game first. But I remember those two together, the rest was history.
That's dope, man. That's
Yeah.
dope that you found that early. So you get that opportunity, and what happens from that? Does it open up doors? Does it connect you with other people to say, "Hey, we liked what you did there. Come holler at us for this," or is it just like kind of radio silence and you start working on the next thing? Like, because I want to get into how you actually got with your first company. Like, this became a job for you. Like, who gave you that first employment opportunity to where you really started taking off?
So after that, I just started doing more designs. And I remember I got another opportunity to design for this music festival that Boozy was hosting, Lil Boozy.
Oh man, he's can't. Yeah, he's oh Spike.
Who?
That's a man. Boosie, your
Yeah.
man's.
You said it
You
wrong. No, I'm just
look
I'm
at.
fucking with you.
So nobody knows who Boosie is. Nobody knows who that is.
No, everybody knows who Boosie is. It's just
Nobody
like,
knows who that is, man. So that's we understand, Najee. Keep going.
Nah, so yeah, like at the time I was doing like these little like characters, and I would like I guess I had like my own character series, and I would do like put Jordans on them, like um uh even before the Boozy one, I did a character of at the time Jimmy Garecki worked for this brand called Gourmet Footwear making sneakers, and I did one of like the CEO, and then I guess I don't know if it was like Boozy's manager or something like that. I don't know.
how
Somebody
old
from that
you?
camp.
How old you at this point?
Damn. Maybe like 16 or 17.
So 16, 17, you're taking the opportunity to, I see these things out here in the world. I want to put my spin on them. Are you thinking that maybe people will respond to them and I'll get an opportunity, or are you just doing this for the love of the game?
I think by now I'm just doing it for the love of the game because like I'm young, I'm hungry, I'm designing all night. I'm pulling all nighters. That's all I'm doing is designing in high school. Go into my room, close my door. My parents won't see me for like 15 hours because I'm just designing.
Mm.
So
So
yeah,
that makes sense why you somebody that's 30 years old doing designs for the Baltimore Ravens.
yeah,
That makes sense because like I've been doing this. This is what I was locked into. I wanted to do this. My creative has finally come out and people are paying me for it. I like this is my bag.
yeah. Well, honestly, I wasn't even getting paid for it then. It was just like,
You weren't getting paid for it with the Boosie stuff.
oh, well, there's a story behind that. uh the Jimmy stuff, I didn't get paid for it, but he invited me to Street League to see the whole championship in Newark. That was fun. So I'm appreciative of that, especially like he's my guy now. Still
And
talk to him.
I'm assuming that's a skate championship or skating.
It was
Correct.
Rob Dyrdek's like X Games, own X
Okay.
Games. Yeah,
Gotcha.
So that's the first big look that you had.
yeah, very first one.
Okay, gotcha.
So the Boozy thing, I get messages like, hey, we love your characters. We would love to design something for this music fest that we're doing. I'm like, all right, cool. So I did characters for all the artists that were sad to perform. I
How
did
old
it
are you?
16 or 17.
Okay.
I did it, send it in, hear nothing, radio silence. I'm following back, like, hey, what's up? Like, what's going on? I'm basically getting like the runaround, like, oh, Boozy got to look at it, this and that, yada yada. All right, cool, whatever. I'm young, I'm dumb, I'm still learning. So like, all right, cool, whatever. Shit, weeks go by, nothing. I don't know what happened to that thing. I don't even know if the music festival was real. I don't know if the nigga was real. He just said, like, yo, we're doing this, we need this. I did it, and that's it. Like, I
You
did
never
free
saw it
version.
again. It never popped up nowhere.
Nope.
Interesting.
So
I thought you was about to say like I see my art and shit out there, but
They
nobody
stole
hit
it.
me up. They just took
They
my shit.
stole it.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if it was real or not. I don't know if it
Yeah.
happened. I don't know if this is actually involved with Boozy or not. Like, I really don't know.
Yeah.
Like, so that was the first time I'm like, damn, I was probably scammed.
Got you.
Like,
Hmm.
that was the first time I spent hours doing something of my own hard work and getting hit with nothing. Like, I
Yeah.
probably got scammed
Crickets.
at the end of the day.
Crickets.
So that was like my second opportunity that didn't lead to anywhere, or it might have. I don't know. Um, but in high school after that, I so there was other people designing in the high school. Like there was a bunch of designers. Like I said, my boy Reggie, who I went to high school and college with, I knew him as a designer, and we all had like gym class with each other. And from there, I meet my guy Justice, Kweku Taha, and they're the founders of Brownmill Company. And at the time, it was a small thing. And one day at a gym class, they asked me like, "Hey, do you want to join or the Brownmill of the brand?" And I'm like, "Cool." So that was like my first role and like a brand job thing, whatever you want to call it. That was like my first job, I guess you can say. And I was doing that for years from so that was like senior year of high school, from senior year to about we in 2026, say last year I did it.
Oh shit.
So that was a
So
huge
a
chunk of
long
my
time.
life. Yeah. So I've seen the brand grow. I've seen it like at the time we had like our own store in Newark, New Jersey, like our own flagship store.
So if my
Uh,
math is right, you graduated 2014.
Graduated high school 2014. Yeah.
So you were doing it for 12 years.
Yep.
Damn.
A huge chunk of my life.
Damn.
So I was doing everything else I was doing. That was on the side. That was like my business side hustle job. Yeah.
When do you feel like what do you feel like your big break was in this space? Like what was that opportunity was like, oh, this has changed everything for me.
The Jets internship.
How'd that come about?
So during college, I would work like for the clubs. I would work for the school newspaper. I'll be like a photo editor. So I'm doing designs, photo editing, and I'm also taking photos of school events, the basketball team, women's basketball, swimming. I'm going around campus just shooting photos. So that helped me get a job under the school like the school photographer, the main photographer, right under him. So if he can't
Mm-hmm.
make it to an event, hey, yo, Chris or Najee, go do this. All right, I got paid for it, paid for
Yeah.
both of them. So I was getting better at. Well, actually, I'm skipping a whole other part that got me into photography. Damn. All right, I'm
I
going
saw you used to
everywhere.
sell prints. I saw you used to sell prints. I wanted to ask you about that too.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was gonna say, man, if you was born 10 years earlier, man, the killing you would have made on campus on them party flyers. You don't really need them now because of social media. Boy, they would have been coming to you for them party flyers. It'd have been up.
Well, the school I went to wasn't really like a party school. It was mad dry. Like the parties were outside of campus, but the two
Got you.
parties I went to got shut down by police. So you can try to make a fire, but I mean that's why. I mean, pretty much the noobs would do that, or like any other frat or sorority would do it. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't really do it. You know what I mean? But
I feel that.
if I was went to a school during that time, I definitely would have done that. Man, I would have took advantage of that. What?
100%.
Make a
Yeah,
killing.
what got you into photography?
So one of the classes for design, like one of the prerequisites was you have to take fundamentals of drawing. Um, so I had to make up credits. I had to take that. So I took that class. The professor, she was a dickhead, like a straight up dickhead. Very pretentious. She wouldn't help you at all. She would expect you to know how to draw. Um, we clashed. I remember one day I go into class and I'm feeling crazy, like anxiety, just because like all the stress that she would cause. And I'm doing the project, I'm drawing, but it's not the way she does it. Like, oh, you don't do it like that. Why are you measuring like that? I'm like, because I'm fucking getting it done. Like, what the hell? Like, you get it done. So if it looks the same, all right, cool. Um, so there's like one day we're presenting stuff, and she basically like clowning me in front of the whole class. You got students over there that she love. Like she's the type of professor that if you on her good side, she would invite you over to her NYC loft or whatever to drink wine and shit. And if you weren't on her good side, she would clown you. So there's one class I'm getting clowned because I didn't do something right or whatever. And like niggas is laughing at me. I'm like, oh, this is how it is. I'm trying my hardest to not swing. Like swing on this nigga that's laughing at me. So I'm like, yo,
I feel you. That's why I'm laughing. Y'all got me fucked up.
Exactly. I'm getting the job done because for me, it's like you get it how you live. Just get the job done. Get to the same thing doing how you do it. But that's not how she taught. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna drop this class. So I go to her office. I got the slip to drop it, and she tells me like, you know, you can't make it in design without drawing. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I literally said, yeah, whatever. I had her sign it, and I left. So since I dropped that class, I had to take a class with my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife. I had to take like a winter photography class with a professor that I love. She's my favorite professor. Yeah. So we get there, we do 3 weeks of the course. I'm flying through it. I love it. It seems natural. And at the end of the course, we had to present like our projects. And after I'm done presenting and we get like a short break, she pulls me to the crowd. She pulls me to the side like, hey, you got an eye for this. Stick with it. I'm like, all right, bet, cool, whatever. So literally, my birthday was 2 days later, and my parents got me like a beginner Canon Rebel T6i camera.
Did you ask for that?
I don't think so.
They just knew, like, it's just
I think they knew. Yeah, I think they knew.
That's crazy, man. Like me and Spike Lee were just talking about. There's no such thing as coincidence. You know what I mean? There's no such thing. Everything aligns perfectly. So that's crazy that you say that.
And literally this whole situation aligned perfectly. Because if I had like a nice professor that I can get through the course with, I wouldn't have picked up a camera. So if I didn't beef with that dickhead, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, honestly.
You still got, he said it's still up for her. Fuck her.
Oh no, it is. I like literally last year, you know, the site Rate My Professor.
Yeah.
I left a review years later.
That's funny.
Terrible review.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's my type of shit. Absolutely, man.
Because I don't like people that like don't help you if you're not understanding something, especially like if you're new to it, you're not used to it, you don't help.
Especially when that's your job. You a teacher.
Exactly. Like I'm paying for this, you getting paid for it, just help. But all in all, I don't regret it because it led me to the Jets. Working under the main photographer for my school, I walk in with my timesheet to hand it to him, and a past graduate from the school worked for the Jets. I think he's still the designer there. He messaged him like, "Hey, we're looking for a photography intern." And I walk in to hand him my timesheet. He looks at me like, "Hey, you want an internship with the Jets?" I'm like, "All right, cool, yeah."
Just like that.
Just like that.
Man.
If I didn't hand in my timesheet, he probably would give it to somebody else. It's
all. Where'd you know him from?
Say it again.
Where did you know him from?
So he's the head photographer for my school or my alma mater.
Did y'all? So y'all went to school together?
Oh no, this is like an old guy. This is like he's been there for like 40 years.
Like, he just know you went to the same school. So one of those like, oh, okay, got you.
Yeah,
got you.
So that's how I got my internship with the Jets, and that was like my first big break of like, oh, I could work in this industry.
So you do your internship, and I know you work for Rutgers, and you're doing SNY. You work for the Mets. As far as that journey goes to where you are now, right? Because you with the Ravens, and how would you describe would you say this is a dream job, like what you get to do right now? Because I feel like most people that have this position that you have are probably older. I feel like you almost like a prodigy. Like I don't know. I don't know that much about the
Facts.
industry, but it definitely feels like I don't see many people like you who would be holding that type of prestigious position, especially for all the people that want to do graphic design and things of that nature.
Well, it depends on where you're at in this industry because, like, with Rutgers and like college sports design, it's all young cats. It's all young people, like fresh
Yeah.
out of high school,
I don't know.
want to design for the school, stuff like that. So it's younger there. In the NFL, it's mixed. It's like
Okay.
people my age are a little younger. The interns would be younger. So was it a dream job? I wouldn't say dream
Okay.
because I just stumbled upon it. You know what I mean? Like I grew up in sports because while I was also skating, I was playing basketball. So sports always been in my life. My family played football. My dad's side is boxers, so I've always been around sports. Played it
Probably
younger,
probably
soccer, basketball.
probably
Yeah,
cross Spike Lou up. Probably cross him up. Yeah.
I don't hoop like that now. My Achilles is messed up, so
Mm.
yeah, I used
It
to
don't.
have
It
really
don't. It
good,
don't take much. It don't take much. Anyway, keep going.
but yeah, nah, like this, I wouldn't call it a dream job because even till this day, where I'm at, I still think about like, damn, I'm I'm not getting that itch. You know what I mean? Like I can always be doing something greater or better. Like it's
I
because I
think
always that
I relate to you in what you're saying right now, but I do want to ask because you work for the Ravens, you're 30 years old, you're in your bag from a creative standpoint, what you wanted to
Mhm.
do. What is your dream job?
it goes back to the entrepreneurial side of wanting to have my own business. Um,
So
because
doing what you want to do when you want to do it.
yeah,
Same with me.
yeah, because yeah, working for the Ravens is tough. It's dope, but there's always someone above you that dictates what comes out, like what you do. Because you can have a fire design, but they'll be like, "Nah, scale it back. We want to do this." But you like, this is the most basic thing. Like, why would we want to do this? Why would we want to put this out for the fans?
Mm,
But they want to keep it right here, and
Yeah.
that irks me. That eats at me
And
because
corporate
you know,
America doesn't. They don't appreciate pushback. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You get people give not you personally, but people get viewed as a trouble starter or difficult to work with, or they want somebody that goes with the flow versus challenging the status quo.
yeah, and that's not me. Like I will go with the flow if like I'm quiet, I'm respectable, I'm gonna do my work, I'm gonna do my job. I ain't gonna cause no ruckus. But when it comes to like putting out heat, no,
Hmm.
I want to put out heat. Like, why
Yeah,
are we limiting our stuff? Like, why?
that makes sense.
Like, like this. You got to know culture. You got to know what they want. You got to know what people want. And if you don't know what they want, why are you dictating what we put out? You know what I mean? That pisses me off. It does, honestly.
yeah,
So that's why I would love to just like my dream job is to own my own brand, do something for my own community, like use my talents for the community and put out dope shit. Honestly,
I I got two things that I want to kind of ask up or ask you, and it might flow into like the ending of this conversation, at least for now, because you always have an open invite. Um, I think the one thing that probably most people, when you hear you work for the Jets or you work for the Mets or you work for the Ravens, what's it like working for a professional sports team? What is that like? What like talk me like? Are you cool with the players? Do they keep a healthy separation? Because I think in baseball, I know somebody used to work for the Cincinnati Reds, and they were like, "Man, we don't talk to the players. They have a very strict, like, you know what I mean? The players are the players. The business side is the business side. Is it like that with the Ravens? What's it like just kind of working in a building with one of the most prestigious brands, the NFL, and one of the most prestigious teams? What's that experience like?
so it's not like that with the Ravens. The
Okay.
Ravens is the most friendly place I've been at in all of my careers so far. Um, so you can eat with the players. Like we share a cafeteria.
Okay.
So my first season, I was walking by Lamar. I was walking by Zay. I said, "What's up to Zay?" Walked by Harbaugh, but he didn't tell me shit because who am I? You know what I mean? That's just who he is. Uh, you seen Tucker in the cafeteria? Like people, my coworkers say, like I talked to Tucker, I talked to Harbaugh. Um, you eat with them, you see them. It's like, of course, in the facility, there's two sides. You have the business side, then you have the football side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the business side, but everybody always intertwines somehow, some way.
Yeah.
We create graphics for the coaches. We create graphics for Coach Mentor personally. Like if he wants to create a shirt for something, well, we'll do it. We'll talk to him. Um, yeah, like I've said hello to the defensive coordinators a bunch of times. Like there is no keep everybody separate for the most part. Like it's all
Gotcha.
one family. Because the Ravens is a small organization, believe it or not. It's only about like roughly 230 people or less. It's not a lot of people, but
On average, what would you say like an average organization would be?
uh like I know the Mets was like at least 400 people, I believe.
Okay,
I
so
think.
substantial, about 170 something more
Yeah,
than what you're doing
but
there.
you go ahead.
I was just gonna ask you because you said you growing up, Lamar was your guy. Like, do you have those fan moments when you see Lamar for the first time? Like, oh shit, that's Lamar. Let me just run over and say what's up. Or you keep it cool, like I'm here to do my job. I'm here in the building or whatever. Do you have it like, man, nah, man, you my guy. Like, I gotta holler at you because I'm sure that would be like, nigga, who are you? Like, what?
So for the most part, Lamar is to himself. Like he doesn't really, you don't really see him. He's like a ghost. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So he goes in, goes what he got, does what he got to do, and dips. But honestly, this past Monday we just had media day, and you still are starstruck because like the kids say it, but like aura, like how this person has aura. That motherfucker got aura, dog. Like the most simplest shit. This sound like glazing, but the most simplest thing he does, like anything,
Mm-hmm.
he just make it look cool. I don't know how he does it. Like he just so smooth, man. Like I don't like talking like people like this. This sound crazy, but
Nah, I get it, man. Because I like when
You're
people
right.
ask me, about my aura, I'll be like, man, I just wake up, bro. I don't know how to do it. So I understand. I understand what that's like.
yeah, like I try. You try not to fan out. Like you keep it low, but it's like, damn, that's Lamar Jackson right there, bro. Like
You should have
I've seen
seen.
Ro,
Okay,
I've
go
seen
ahead.
Roquan up in person. I've seen
So
Zay
you
up in
do
person.
still have those moments as the position that you're in. You still have those moments,
Yeah, but you
even though
keep it
you the
low.
nigga. Like I go look at your IG and I was like, damn, the nigga, you see the box and all this shit that he created and he pulled out. You still have those moments with those people. It's like, nah, I'm a fan too.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, of course.
Me and Rich are looking at you, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rich. We looking at you like, oh, this nigga work for the Ravens. Like, you doing dope ass designs. Like, do you see this shit? Like, this
I'm
shit
looking
fire.
at you. Yeah, we're looking at you the way you're describing them. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this shit is
The
fire.
same way you speaking of Lamar, like we looking at you the same way on the designs that you built. How does that resonate with you?
It,
Can you
if
understand it?
I could understand it, but now thinking about it, I think it's because I'm still that kid in my room designing.
Mm.
I'm,
Same
I'm,
thing.
That makes
That's the
sense.
same
yeah,
thing when Rich asked me about the podcast. I'm still the dude that's sharing a mic with AB. Like I don't get it when I get it, but I don't get it when people say, "Oh, this is the best podcast I ever listened to." Like I ain't like I I I, I see it, but it don't process for me properly.
yeah. It's because we're still those young creatives just hustling. And I'm never going to get out of that
Fact.
mindset, that mode, because that's what I am. That's what I started. Honestly, literally, that's what I started as a kid drawing my skateboard. That's still
Facts.
me today. Um, Going off of that, my guy Anthony, who I went to college with, he's a young up and coming filmmaker. He's been telling me like, "Yo, we watching you do all this stuff. Like, we looking at you like that." I'm like, "Me, uh, what am I doing? I'm just designing stuff, bro. Like, I don't. What am I doing? You know what I mean? Tell me what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm never going to feel that like people looking at me like that in a way that I look at like Lamar and people stuff like I can't.
Mm.
Because to me, I don't.
Let me.
That's a thing.
So
That's something we gotta dive into. That's an episode in itself.
Yeah, that's 100% an episode because I'm very fascinated with that. That's interesting when you say it like that. Like you don't look at it as. I'm trying to think of the right way to word this question. Maybe it is that separate episode because it's kind of layered. I'm always curious as to because what it is. Go ahead.
I disagree with what he's saying, but I also understand what he's saying, being a creative as well. Like I get, it's like when somebody comes up to you and they say these things, or people tell you in comments these things, you're like, man, get the fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. But also as a creative, you're like, yeah, nigga, I did that. I understand what you're saying, but you don't accept it as them putting you in this praise level as to where you would look at someone else like that.
I think it probably goes back to what Najee was saying earlier, where it's just like, I think when things come so natural to you, it's hard to identify it as talent. So I've said this before, where growing up, people would always tell me like, hey, you should get into public speaking. You should get into like anything that's using your voice or standing up in front of people. You should be a Toastmaster, all this stuff. And it's just like, he laughs. You think it's funny?
No,
so what?
You
yeah, there you go. But but what it is when people tell you stuff like that, is you just look at them like, it's like waking up. You get what I'm saying? It's like, that's the one thing that you said, Najee, when you said it, it's kind of like, I do this in my sleep, bro. Like, this shit ain't hard. Like, what do you mean what do you mean I'm talented? Like, I've been doing this my whole life. I don't understand what you mean by that.
It's difficult for me to process this as a compliment because I do this.
Yeah, and not in a braggadocious way. It's literally like, as long as I can remember, this has been a skill of mine.
Like that. I'm getting that from you, Rich, and I'm getting that from you, Najee, in the sense of, and I feel the same way. It's like, it's difficult for me to be like, oh, thank you for the compliment, when you're like, nah, bro, this is a Tuesday for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe that changes when we do that one project or that one podcast episode where it's like, that's the one.
Good point. You know what I mean? Even then, that's a great point. I think all three of us probably had the mindset of, all right, then, because like, all right, so me and Lou just talked about not having a classic together, like just us two having a classic. And when that day happens, I don't think we're going to look at each other like, oh, that was it. We might take a split second, but then it immediately shifts to, all right, now we got to do another one.
What's the next?
It's almost like playing sports. Like, you don't win a championship and say, oh, cool, I'm off to the sunset, I'm retiring now. I want another one now. Then I want another one after that. And I want another one after that.
Like, bro, that collab, that what I seen you do with the collab with the Ravens, Najee, in the sense of like, oh shit, you got the whole box thing. That's fire. That for most people, that would have been like, oh, this is it. I done the thing that right there. Yeah. Y'all take a look. If y'all looking on YouTube,
I'm gonna post it on our. I'm gonna post it as our.
Bro, that shit right there, Najee, that shit is fire. So
it's like a lot of the gold brick inside of it.
So yeah, it's like a what do you call it? A membership box to the club, the Trust Club.
It's like a season ticket, like gift or something like that.
Exactly. So this right here,
like let me just say this real quick, and I'm sorry, I hate to do it to my squad. Bengals season ticket gifts are, as Spike Lou said, slaw. Terrible. So terrible. I saw the Giants, my boy, real quick, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you get into that box, Najee. For the Giants this past season, for their season ticket holders, they gave them replica Super Bowl rings, a box of all 4 Super Bowl rings. You know what we got as Bengals fans? We got a fake ticket with Joe, T, and Jamar on it, and that was it. Some little flimsy shit in the mail. Shout out to the Bengals, but man, y'all got to do better. Anyway, get to the box, Najee.
So I'll tell you this from what I know, the Bengals seem like It's just a notorious cheap organization.
Yeah, they're not gonna
Oh,
spend money on stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it goes hand in hand with what I know about that organization. So
yeah.
like
Like when
don't
you
they
look at
walk across the
the
street to go to practice, something like that?
yes.
so the practice facility is right across the street. So you could be just downtown chilling, doing whatever, and Joe Burrow just crossing your path. Now, mind you, they got police that are there, but it's literally as access, like they just a crosswalk, literally a crosswalk that just goes across the street. Now it's cool because I know a lot of organizations, their practice facilities are separate from their stadium or separate from where they like play. So
But
it
not
is
like
cool having everything at once, but it's different. It's very, yeah, it's different. And they've done more since we drafted Joe and kind of got the team as far as
hey,
building like an indoor
that's enough.
facility.
That's enough. We got it. We got it, bro. That's enough
Fair,
Bengals talk. Let Najee
fair enough.
talk.
Fair enough. Go ahead. Go ahead to your trust box.
Yeah. So
Get that
so
shit
like
out of here, bro.
let me see. Let me see if I can unblur it real quick.
Week.
So it came with like two glass cups or glass, yeah, the truss on it. I think they got like a custom shirt, like a quarter zip, two pins, like a coin and the birdie head. And this is like a paperweight. I can't even take it out because it's so annoying, but like a gold brick with the
Yeah.
trust on it.
So
Yeah.
when they want to come up with this concept, they throw it to you and like, hey Najee, you're the director of whatever it may be. I forgot your title. You do this. We need something to give to our season ticket holders, or is it I got this idea here, take this to the people?
No, they
How does
come
it
with
work?
us like, hey, ticketing wants to do boxes for the PSL owners this season. And
Okay.
there's three clubs. There's the Champions Club, the Raven, and the Trust. So there's going to be a box for all three of these clubs. You're assigned to this one. You're assigned to that one. Um, I just chose the Trust because it seemed like the most expensive, and like I like luxurious shit like that. I like the way it looks, like the
And
feeling
that
of it.
tie into your sneaker stuff, it turned to all the other stuff that got you into this in the first place.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything goes. Yeah.
So when you make stuff like that, because I know you talked about kind of the mindset of not getting caught up in the moment. But are there moments where you're like, man, I'm really proud of this piece in particular, or I'm really proud of that piece, or I'm really like this was an important one for me. Like, do you have time to acknowledge certain moments where you're like, oh, that was really cool, man. I look at this trust box and it's like maybe one of my favorite pieces to date, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, but because of the industry I am in, it quickly goes because you always have to do another one. You always have to do the next thing. Like nothing ever stays in this damn industry.
Yeah.
Like honestly, as we speak, I one of the windows I have up is the working on the next box for this one. So it's like you can't really enjoy it because next thing you know, all right, what's next, man? Well, we gotta do something else. Like you have no moment to look back on what you did and appreciate it.
Do you ever get inspired by other people? Like within the organization or outside of it, do you ever look at like maybe another? It doesn't even have to be in the same NFL. It could be another sports team, and you look at a design and like, oh shit, that's fire. Like, you know what I mean? Does that inspire you, or is
Like
everything
this
kind of within?
cowboy shit.
The Cowboys hat does look dope though. It does look dope. Um, I do, but I don't because I a lot of times I end up like let's say if I see like a fire design from this designer, and then I start looking at myself like, damn, I ain't doing shit, bro. Like this ain't nothing. I put down myself when I see other great designs, and that's why I tend to not like look at a lot of sports designs when I'm on social media. Like I'll follow certain organizations that I like, but I don't like to keep looking at designs because I'm always going to be like, damn, I ain't doing shit. Like look at this
Mm.
kid that's still in high school doing. Like there's a bunch of like
Mm,
16 years olds that's like doing crazy stuff that we weren't doing when we were 16. And it's like,
evolution.
yeah, and it's getting younger and younger to where the point. That's why I don't know if I said this, but like I don't know if I'm gonna stick to doing design or like designing in this world 5 years from now because it's getting younger and younger and the competition is growing to a point where it's like I can't keep looking at a computer all day because it's going to get to a point where you have to work all night to get to that one project that kid is doing in a week. It's like I can I keep doing that? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this
That's
is a young man's game.
that's. I'm gonna ask you this question, Spike, because I don't know if I've ever asked you directly. What you just said, Najee, reminded me of. I remember starting the Culture Garden, and I couldn't listen to film podcasts anymore. I just couldn't do it. It was something about I wanted all my thoughts to be original, and I never wanted to be inspired, or never do I want to look at somebody and say, "Damn, I'll never get to that level." You know what I mean? I just shut it all out completely so I can focus on what I was doing. Spike Lou, do you still listen to like music podcasts and other things, hip hop specifically, and not like a Joe Budden because I feel like that's a lifestyle podcast at this point. I know they cover hip hop, but they cover other things. But do you listen to any hip like podcasts that are strictly about hip hop?
Nope.
Is that
I don't. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, is that because of what I just said, where you just kind of want to keep your own thoughts, or is it because you just have no interest in it?
I don't have any interest in what other people talk about music. Like I don't care.
Okay.
It makes no like I don't like for film. All the other things that I talk about on podcasts, yeah, I do care about what other people say. Like I want to know what other movie critics say. I want to know what other people talking about on a current events standpoint. But when we talking about rap, I think that's one of the things that make On Deck so good. Is like I don't care what any other program is saying about this. It's just me and AB talking about this. And we get to have this conversation in the sense of there's no outside influences. There's no other thing that we worry about. It's just like this is me and my homeboy talking about rap like we've always did. And I don't listen to any other hip hop podcasts. I won't say it's because of that. I'm not interested. It's not. I don't care what other people talk about music. I don't care. I care about current events. I care about sports. I care about all these other things that I go to podcasts and talk about. But when we talking about hip hop and people say, "Oh, well, On Deck is the best hip hop podcast that I listen to," some of it may have to do with I don't listen to no hip hop podcasts. I don't listen to no hip hop commentary. None of that shit I don't care about any of that. When I'm doing my podcast about hip hop, it's just me and my homeboy sitting here talking about the things that came across our desk this week.
One question for you before I hand it back over to Najee, because I have something else I want to ask him about. If you were out and about, if you were out somewhere in public and there was a hip hop podcaster that you knew of, would you have a conversation in real life? Or does that not interest you either? Because sometimes it's about like, I don't want to listen to it, but because I think about movies, right? I love talking about movies with anybody that loves movies. I might not listen to your podcast, but if we're having a real conversation and you bring up No Country for Old Men, or you bring up Pulp Fiction, or you bring it up The Wood, or any of these movies, then it's like, oh yeah, well, let's talk about it. What are your thoughts? What do you think about this scene? Stuff like that. Is hip hop one of those things to where you can engage in that, or you just don't have an interest outside of you and they be talking about it?
Nah, I don't. I don't have an interest outside
Fair.
of me and talking about it.
Fair.
Like
And that's
I would be,
special.
yeah, I would be mildly irritated if someone came up to me talking about some shit that they listen to on Deck. Like I don't like, bro.
Interesting.
I don't.
Like
I'm
a listener or another podcaster?
Whoever, like podcaster, listener, I don't want to have this conversation with you right now. I'm out eating food. I'm out enjoying the show. Like take it for what it is in the sense of listening to the show and respecting that. I don't. Me and you ain't finna have a podcast right here while we eating Rasta pasta. Like we ain't doing it.
The Anthony Mackie of podcasters, ladies and gentlemen. Don't ever approach Spike Lou in public.
Nah, I'm not even saying that because look, that's the thing though. It's different. If someone came up to me talking about Another Week in the Books, if someone came up to me talking about Gun Earners or No More Half Measures, if they came up to me talking about, man, you say this about Walter White, you say this about Tony Soprano, I would be way more open to listening to that than I would be their hip hop opinion because I don't care. I don't give a fuck what you think about JID or Freddie Gibbs or any of these niggas that I don't like. I don't care. It don't matter to me. But if it's another one of those conversations, then it's fine. It's cool. I think it's just hip hop for me.
Spike Lou hitting niggas with the Jerome and Snowfall. Get the fuck out of here, little nigga.
Nigga, fuck out of here, little nigga.
Take that dumb shit with you. Hey, you hilarious, Spike Lou. I just want you to know that, man. You one of the funniest people ever. Oh, Najee, we want to have you back, man, because there's so much in the conversation that we didn't get to. But there's one thing I definitely wanted to talk to before we wrap things up, and that's VOL basketball, man. Is that short for volume? What's that stand for, and what inspired that? And kind of tell the people what it is to begin with, because you're the founder of it.
Yeah. So it's volume basketball. It came from me doing like a bunch of photo books. Actually, I have it right here. Photo books of our community playing basketball. It's like we used to have community runs. So right after my internship with the Jets, it ended, and I was told like, "Hey, we're going to bring you back to do some more stuff." Long story short, that didn't happen. Like, I never got anything back. I still talked to the main photographer at the Jets, who's one of the best in the industry. His name is Dan, top of the top. Still respect him and everything. It never ended up happening again. So I had nothing to shoot. So at the time, like this is back when Tumblr was popping. I was with Brown Mill Company, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the brand Amelion Door, based out of New York and Queens. They used to do they still do like private basketball runs, and they would take photos of it. And the founder, creative director of Brown Mill would go to, he would be invited to those runs. I saw like a photo of him on Tumblr one day. So I'm like, damn, this would be dope if I did the same thing for my friends at the park. So I got together all my friends, like, yo, I want to do this photo book. And they was like, all right, cool. And we shot it, and it ended up being like volume 1. And I just gave it to my friends, sold it. And it was such a hit that like I told my guy, like, yo, we should do this for the brand. Like, let's get all of our friends together and just hoop every Sunday. And he was with it. And literally like 2 weeks later, we did it. It was like 30 people. The next week we did it, it was like 40 people. And unfortunately, one of our friends in high school passed, and we did like a community run in honor of his name. And we had like 80 people at one court, at our local court, both courts filled up. And I would just take photos of it. Because of course I had like the sports background with shooting the Jets and the men's basketball team. So I would just make photo books and just label it as volume 2, volume 1. And it later ended up being like a thing called volume. I just called it volume. I just stuck with it. So let me take off the blur. So that's how the idea was born. And for years we did community runs, and COVID hit it. Because right before COVID, we were bound to have like our biggest run with like both courts filled back to back, and it stunned it for a bit.
Yeah.
And the brand at the time, we stopped doing it, but they weren't really taking it seriously as I did, because I thought of it and I had the passion for it.
Yeah.
So we decided to like, hey, I asked them, could I take it? Could I keep it for myself? And they was like, yeah, sure. So that's how Volume was born. Like it was born for a thing for the community.
You know, we need your creative I put on another week in the books.
I would be honored to do that, man.
We need you to put the creative aspect, just like you explained that, to this.
Even if it's just ideas, like, hey, this would be a dope idea.
Shots, whatever it may be. But like, I feel like since you said you listened to it on your way to work, like the hard part about doing this thing and people that say they want to help you, or they want to do this thing with you, they don't really be tapped into what it is. Talking to you, listening to you, you understand the vision of what Another Week in the Books is. So having someone like you to be like, I want to create this and present this from a creative aspect, that would be fire.
Hey, I would be honored to, honestly, because I have a vision for it. Like if it's something that y'all will love to do, like if y'all see it, like if I present it to you and y'all are with it, then hey, let's do it because it's
Yes.
this is y'all stuff. I respect it, and I just want
Yes.
to help elevate it as best as I can. And yeah, because obviously with volume, you saw like you see how like it came from me creating my own opportunity.
Facts.
Like I put my all into it. It helped other people in the community. It was my outlet, and now it's other people's outlet. Now it's for the kids in Trenton, New Jersey, doing runs for them, like clinics for
Yeah.
them. So it's a trickle down, and I put that to everything I do. Honestly, that's why being at the Ravens is like, yeah, it's cool doing it, but it only goes so
It's
far. You know what
more.
I mean?
It's more.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
and I have to say this, man. I want to echo the sentiment of your professor when they said you got an eye for this, man. So on Instagram, for those out there listening, if people want to highlight their stories, you can do that. You kind of make different highlights. And Najee has like prints, like prints that he used to do. Your prints are fire, bro. And I'm a fan of like still pictures, right? I like good images. I follow this page. If you follow my personal page, anybody listening, I'm always posting something from Black Archives, right? And all it is just photography from just regular Black people just doing regular Black people things. But the photos are just so dope and they kind of tell their own stories. And when I was looking through some of yours, like even when you held up that book, I'm like, that's just a fire ass shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just like everything about it just seems perfect. It seems dynamic. And you got one of just like the hoop. You got one with the hoop and the net, and the way it's shot and the angle is just great. And you got another one with like you got the Nike shirt with the basketball chain on it and all these other things. And I think one of my favorite one, I ain't gonna hold you. It's somebody going up for a layup, but it's like a reverse almost. Like they're going up for the layup, and there's people like playing defense, and it's just a great action shot. And I'm like, yo, like, and I was
Yeah.
wondering, do you still sell prints?
Nah, because it's tough. So right now with volume, um, this could be another conversation, but I've been going back and forth with like, should I keep doing it or not? Because it's been tough trying to get it out there to try to get it to the people that, because I understand it's not for everybody.
Yeah,
I had a hard time at first trying to come to terms with that because like I would post something and like my friends wouldn't share it, like they wouldn't do anything with it. So I'm like, all right, so y'all not gonna help me like share this out or anything like that. And I understand now, like it may not be for him. So I have to get over that hump and still put out the stuff that I need and know that like, hey, times are gonna get tough. Um, so I'm gonna get back to selling them at one point, maybe doing another book. Actually, I just got this sample of a sweatshirt with the MVPs of the kids clinic that we did last summer. I took a photo of it, but I turned it to like a sweatshirt
it's
in the
fire.
back. The three MVPs of the summer.
It looks
It's,
like that looks like a Shy, like the Shy, the show, like the designs
yeah,
and stuff they do for that. That's what kind of looks like from me.
yeah. So if I could somehow get this up, I would sell it again. I just gotta get over that hump that like I'm dealing with it right now. It's tough.
All right. So lock this in. Lock this in. This is my producer brain working. The next time you're on and you have an open invite, literally, whether we invite you or you just hit us up and say, yo, I'm ready to talk about this. I want to have you on for a conversation about when it's time to move on to the next thing. Because you just mentioned how you in a space of like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know if it's time to just go ahead and end it. Like, I think that's a very fascinating thing because we all have multiple things. And I've talked to Spike Lou about this a little bit where,
Yep.
as you grow in this space, how long do you do something before you look up and say, you know what? that was cool, that was fun, but this no longer serves me. I'm ready to move on to the next chapter. Almost like you talked about, like, hey, I got an entrepreneurial spirit. Like, as everybody who watch sports probably grows up saying, oh man, it'd be dope to work for a sports team. And here you are in that space, and I know you're very appreciative and you think it's dope, but you also like, man, I still got other things I want to do. Like, you know what I mean? So some people will look at that like, oh, I got a job with the Ravens. I ain't never leaving. They're going to have to push me out the door. And I love people, and I think all three of us are like this. I love people who always have that, I want to keep that fire lit. I want to make sure that I'm not limiting my potential, because I think that's what happens, man. I say it all the time. A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. You know what I mean? Like, you can't grow until you get yourself out that box and put yourself in those different rooms and challenge yourself. So unless you have another topic, I want to make sure that when you come back on, we maybe have a conversation about that and what that looks like, and all three of us can kind of bounce that idea around, because there's been things that I've picked up and like, I don't want to do that no more. It's a wrap. Or you realize in real time, like, this sounded good, but I know I don't have the bandwidth to kind of keep going. So I just think that's dope.
No, I would love to be back on, especially to discuss that, because I have a fairly recent situation just like that with the brand I was with for years since high school. I had something happen like that where it's like, all right, this is not who I am anymore. Like, I know it's time to move on. So I definitely have a great story for that, honestly.
Oh yeah, we love to, man. And like I said, literally an open invite, because there's still other things that we didn't even get to, and we already over 2 hours in it.
Thanks.
So Najee, you got any closing words before you get out of here? Your first appearance as a co-author, long-time bookworm.
Hey, I appreciate it for y'all have me on here. And just so y'all know, this is like my first podcast ever. So I'm trying to get used to talk and make sure I'm not rambling, make sure I'm like getting the timelines right. So my apologies if I ramble too much.
Hey, sir, you did a great job. Great job, sir.
Did a great job.
Appreciate it.
And what, like I said, man, we don't say that lightheartedly. When we say like open invite, holla at us whenever, we mean that sincerely. So literally, you can say, hey, I want to come on, second week of July and have a conversation. We're gonna put it on the calendar, and it's yours, man. So thank you so much, not just for coming on and sharing your part of your story, because like I said, we still got more that we can dig into, and inspiring us, and just, I'm in awe of your talent. I know Spike Lou as well, but also just the support, man, because I know there's people who listen to different podcasts and never take time to leave a comment, send a DM or anything. And that's cool. That's perfectly fine. It's not necessary. But you have no idea what it does for myself, Spike Lou, Mo, Ray P, School. People who are in this space when you might be running on E, man. You might really be at the end where it's like, man, I don't know how I'm going to push through this week. I don't got nothing to say. And we read a comment like yours just talking about, hey, man, this episode was fire, or I really appreciate the work, or this, that, and the third. And just going out, like I said, nothing was initiated. You just wanted to make sure we knew that. And that might be the spark we need to get through a week or get through an episode and keep going when we think like, hey, nobody listening to this. Nobody's really paying attention. This isn't resonating with anyone. So I'll never get tired. I don't care what happens. I don't care that day when we start to get to 1 million, 2 million downloads an episode. It'll never get old when people just say what impact it had, because that's what this space is for, honestly. Like, we have a lot of other podcasts where we banter and talk shit and have a lot of good fun, but we really want to build that community here at Another Week in the Book. So people like you are a reason why this works, and you're a person that we do this for. So anything that we do, man, I'm forever grateful, man. And that's why I said, man, anytime you need to, you a co-author, you a bookworm, you family. So it is what it is, man. We appreciate you, dog.
Hey, I appreciate y'all. And I got a trip to Japan in like 2 weeks. So by the time I get back, we can definitely talk about that as well, because that's me.
Is it work related?
Say it again.
Work related or personal?
Personal. My wife's, my sister-in-law is stationed over there, so we're gonna take a trip over there to see her. So
okay, nice, nice.
Seeing the world.
I love it, man. I'm 30 years old, man. The world is your oyster, dog. Like, I'm just appreciative of you. Spike Lou, you got any last words before we get out of here?
Oh, is it? You put it perfectly.
I usually do. All right, y'all. That's book 2, chapter 66. We got my dog Najee, co-author, bookworm. We'll be back. Actually, next week is I'll say it because Spike Lou don't know the date. Next week is the third Friday of the month. So we won't have an episode. We'll be back the week after. So don't worry. Producer Rich is back to make sure all your dates and schedules are aligned properly. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Until then, check us out on deck, Culture Garden, No More Half Measures, Childish Grown-Ups, the whole 9. We'll catch y'all. Y'all be cool. We out.
Peace.